From the EPAWA headquarters in South Allentown, Pennsylvania, it's time for Weather Weeklies, an informative video of the ins and outs of weather that affect you most in the EPAWA coverage area. The following segment is a weekly video blog, and the opinions of the forecaster do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff of Eastern PA Weather Authority LLC as a whole, nor its constituents. Without further ado, here is meteorologist Bobby Martrus with Weather Weeklies.
Hey, good Sunday morning to you, everybody. This is another weekly edition of Weather Weeklies, and we're going to go right into this video here because we have some long-range stuff to talk about, and we're going to get into that now. This is the latest long-range outlook updated by EPAWA, and this is from meteorologist Mike DeFino. Of course, we have this period right now that we're in, and this is going to be through the 28th or so to be above average here, and then we're going to go to below average, we think, for an extended period of time. So we talk about a pattern change, and what was a pattern change coming, and we do think it is coming, and we do think it's going to be coming at the end of this month. So that's the outlined here around the 28th, 29th time frame. Also outlined some storm threats here of the 24th, obviously, with that big rainstorm. Unfortunately, it's Christmas Eve, and nobody wants a rainstorm on Christmas Eve, but it does look like there's no chance of any frozen precipitation with that. And the same thing with another mini storm, much smaller in comparison. This would be the 27th or 28th time frame. After that, we get into the snow events, and we get into early January. The GFS I looked at this morning actually had a couple chances right around New Year's Eve, and then again around the 4th. We outlined the one on the 4th here, so and I don't like that one around Christmas Eve, actually. So, or excuse me, New Year's Eve. So we'll look at this going forward here, and look at some snow events starting to come back into the picture in January, and we'll actually show you why. And you see we have high confidence for the next couple of days, or moderately high for the below average period for a very long period of several weeks. Now it could go beyond this. It just we don't like going beyond, go too far into the future as far as looking at what we are expecting above and below normal, because that can change a lot of times, but still looks like it's going to be entrenched in that pattern in accordance with our winter outlook. If you did read our winter outlook, we expected this. We expected December to go below normal, or excuse me, to be above normal, and not have any below normal snaps until the middle to the end of the month. Well, that's happening. So when we're getting questions on our Facebook page saying, this winter's a dud, where's winter? Well, one, winter hasn't started yet. Okay, and two, if you guys would read our outlooks that we put out there, we expected this. We expected this in the end of October, beginning of November. We put the winter outlook out at the end of October. We released it publicly in the beginning of November. It clearly states in there what our opinion was. It's that December was not going to be a cold and snowy month, and it wasn't. And then we expected that to flip as we head into late December, into January and February. That's happening. So when you read things, make sure you read everything. And I'm not saying it directed at anybody in particular. It's amazing the amount of comments we get on the Facebook page, on Twitter, and the like of, where's winter? This winter's a dud compared to last year. Well, of course it's going to be a dud compared to last year. Last year we had, in some places, the third highest snowfall ever recorded. So to expect that again this year is just insane. I mean, come on. We did have above normal snowfall. We could still get there. We still have all of January, all of February, and we expected this. So just relax. It's coming. And one of the things we're looking at that it says it's coming here. Here's the current pattern versus what's coming that we put up last week. And this was a courtesy of Weather South, and they put up this image of an Alaskan ridge or block going up here. This is the negative EPO, and a big deep trough in the east with a Greenland block and Arctic air filtering in. And that was shown a week ago. Well, guess what? A week later, it's still there. It's still coming. So nothing's changed. So we get into the current pattern of what we're looking at now. One of the problems we're having right now, why is it so warm? Why aren't we getting any snow? We see this right here. This right here, these straight tight lines here, this is the jet stream. Very, very fast Pacific jet moving west to east. You can't get some big storms and cold air if you have a Pacific jet that is this quick. You can't do that. You need some kind of amplification. Negative EPO in Alaska. You need deep, so it can do this. So it can amplify. It can't amplify if this Pacific jet is too fast, and that's what we've been having for much of the month of December. Unlike November. No, November we didn't have that. Now we do have that in December. a large part to the quasi-biennial oscillation. That's a big reason why that was doing that. But we're going to see some changes here. And these are the changes that we expected to come, and this is going to come to fruition, and it's really on every single piece of ensemble guidance. The Madden-Julian oscillation also agrees with this idea. So there's so many things that are pointing to this. This isn't one of those things, well, yeah, the forecasters are saying the pattern change is coming, and they said that in 2011, 2012, and it never came. They kept pushing it back, pushing it back. This one's coming. I don't have any doubts in my mind that this one's coming. Here are the ensembles. Here's the drastic changes we're looking for. Now, I know a lot of you are looking at this going, what does this mean? Well, I'm going to explain it. Relax. Okay. You have a low that's sitting to the northwest of Alaska. Here's Alaska right here. Okay. That digs a little mini trough here. Here is a big ridge over Alaska. When you want cold here in the eastern half of the United States, you need a big trough. In order to get that trough, you need a ridge out west. Okay, this is actually not a positive Pacific North American oscillation. This is heading positive, but this is a negative EPO. This is what drove our winter last year. Negative EPO was what drove our winter. We didn't really have favorable conditions around. We didn't have really good blocking. We had some very good negative Arctic oscillation, which again is showing here. Cold air coming down here from the polar regions. Okay, negative EPO, which allows the warmth over Alaska. If it's warm over Alaska, golden rule, it's not warm here. Okay, here's what's showing up here that was not showing here last year. This, folks, is a negative NAO. This is what you need to have blocking in big storms along the coastline. Negative NAO we did not have last winter. So I'm interested to see what combinations we're going to get out of this, because this is basically last year's pattern. Basically last year's pattern. Maybe not digging as far south as shown here on the ensembles, but we have a negative EPO, negative AO. But we did not have the negative NAO. I'm very interested to see what happens here with these big East Coast storms here, because what we projected this year is that we have maybe less frequent of storms, so they're not one on top of another like they were last year every 3 days or thereabout. We're getting a snowstorm or snow event. However, when they do hit, maybe once a week or whatever, you have the potential to have some big blockbuster storms along the coastline, and that's what I'm looking for. The reason we thought that is because the NAO we expected to go negative. Well, guess what? Now it's going negative, along with the EPO being negative. We got the ridge pumped out west, big trough in the east, cold air filtering down, split polar vortex here, one north and south of Hudson Bay. This is what you're looking for if you're wanting a snow and cold pattern. This is shown on all the ensembles right now. So there's nothing. This isn't like just one model showing it, or the CFS showing it, or this is a European model. This is the GFS. This is everything long range that we're looking at. Now, this is also something we're looking at going long-term, not transient, okay, which means it's not going to be a couple days, 2-3 days of cold, and then it's out of here, moderates. Why? This is a look at early January. Actually, this is right around the 4th or 5th. You can see all this cold air. These are, the whole country is in cold air, actually. This is actually below normal anomalies here. 0 would be white, so here's your dead even. 0 meaning on average, or where they should be for this time of year as far as temperature departures. Okay, so we're not. This is actually showing the entire country below normal temperatures. Now, normal temperatures this time of year are in the 30s in a lot of locations for our coverage area now. Okay, so if you're talking about below normal, this is below normal Celsius. Okay, here's in our coverage area here. We're kind of like in the -1 to -2. It's -1 to -2 Celsius. So that's really like 3 or 4 degrees Fahrenheit below what normal is, okay? And this is way out into January. So this is January 5th, and it's still expecting a normal high at that time is in the mid-30s. And you're talking about normal highs or daily average highs being 3 to 4 degrees below that for normals. Okay, so you see where I'm going with this? There's a chance that you're going to have a period here that is going to be below normal, not extreme, not these massive polar vortexes that hang in here for weeks and weeks and weeks. And we had a brutal 6-week stretch last winter where it was just ridiculously cold, and I don't think you're going to get shots of that. But the whole idea is for the whole period you're going to be below normal, and that's going to continue right into January, not a transient in and out thing. Okay, and another thing we're looking at here is the increase in snow chances. And the reason we're doing that is we're going to go to the next frame here. This is looking at the 15 days from now, and you have still the same thing: negative EPO, negative NAO right here, You got the split polar vortex right here, cross polar flow, and we got a cold air coming down here. So this is not changing as we get into January. And when you have that pattern here, with these big dips like this across the eastern half of the United States, you have the chance for the big storms like I showed in the previous graphic. So this is still showing with a negative NEO, negative EPO combination. It's favorable for a cold and perhaps snowy ride here as we get into early January. Okay, now let's get into this storm on the 24th. This is the Christmas Eve storm. I know a lot of people travel. A lot of people are concerned that we're going to get a tremendous amount of rainfall. I don't think this is going to be as epic as some thought it would be earlier in the week, but we are going to get some pretty good rain and some wind out of this. Here's your primary area low pressure. It's going to head up into the Great Lakes like this. Okay. You got rain, of course, on Christmas Eve during the morning, afternoon, evening, overnight. So we're going to have some rain here moving here, and then we're going to have as this moves up to the north, you could have some secondary development over in northern Virginia or Maryland, and that's going to move over top of us as well. So secondary low pressure will enhance that rainfall. One of the things we're going to be looking for are the winds. Going to be a big factor here, especially on late Christmas Eve night, overnight. Say after midnight through about noon on, say, Christmas Day on Thursday. So will be quite windy. These are the isobars here for Wednesday afternoon. There's not really too much going on here. The winds aren't too bad. They're far enough apart here where there'll be an increase in wind, but we're not talking about some crazy wind here during the day on Christmas Eve. I'm worried about the period from after midnight on Christmas Eve night. Okay, so it's actually technically Christmas morning, all the way through about noon on Christmas Day. That's when I think we're going to get some winds here. We're going to go over to another vantage point, look at how much wind we're expecting here. Now, these are wind gusts, and you can see these wind gusts here. You got some yellow or some dark greens or lighter greens and some yellows showing up here. These are wind gusts that are anywhere from 35 to 50 miles per hour that could occur. Now, this is just a model projection, but this is not out of the question as this system passes off to the north here. And you see these lines here, these black lines here, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all very tight around each other. These are lines of equal pressure, called isobars. The closer these are together to one another, the higher the wind gusts are, and that's why you're getting these insane winds, especially as you get into extreme eastern PA, New Jersey here, with some very high wind gusts. I would say 50 would be the max that you would see for a wind gust in this area. Would not be surprised to see that, but this again, it would be from midnight Wednesday night through Thursday noon time frame. But as far as rainfall, we're also looking at some pretty heavy rainfall. These might be overdone a little bit here. Again, if the same areas eastern half would get the most out of this. Extreme eastern PA and all of New Jersey showing the 1.5 to 2 inch range here. But even here's your 1 inch area, which is pretty much our entire coverage area. So we're definitely going to go with the idea that they're going to be over an inch of rain, probably inch to an inch and a half, but localized higher amounts to 2 inches across our coverage area here. So this is one thing that's good about the system. It's very progressive, which means it's a quick hitter, in and out, doesn't hang around forever. Pushes out of here early Christmas morning, and then we get blustery and colder with those winds coming in here, getting much colder here on Christmas Day with a few flurries and maybe even a few snow showers for our northern and maybe even our central areas. We will be following this threat and all the threats coming up the next couple of weeks here exclusively on the My Pocket Meteorologist program. Of course, we have the premium group that we talk about it. I get a lot of questions on the main Facebook page, or we do. We can't answer them there. It's not a public forum on the main Facebook page. We have our own private group for that, where we talk about these different threats and discuss it as we got up to 7 days out. Once we get a little bit closer, we start looking at that kind of thing. And you can join that discussion by going to the My Pocket Meteorologist page here and selecting one of the premium options. All the seasonal options are available. As far as text alerts and email alerts, you can get on those too and find out before the public does, specific to your area you live, how much you're getting, the timing, and the impacts that can be expected for these storms that are at hand. So look for this image right here. You can look for this right below this video. It'll give you a link to click on it. It takes you to the My Pocket Meteorologist seasonal options page, where you can select one of the seasonal options and sign up for My Pocket Meteorologist like the thousands that have before you. Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich, and that is this edition of Weather Weeklies. We hope you join us next week for the next version of Weather Weeklies next Sunday. Hopefully, have a lot more exciting stuff to talk about, not just projections of of pattern changes and things like that. We should be in one by then. Or it should be occurring, and we might have some immediate snow threats we need to talk about next week. So please join us next Sunday for that, and have a great weekend. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich, and this is this edition of Weather Weekly.